that interview was very interesting with Donald Trump, talking about that moment that we actually spoke to you about on this programme when you'd gone to see Donald Trump. What did you make of his comments when he said that he wanted to introduce you to Anne Sacoolas so that you could grieve together? That was his phrase. He said he watched you being interviewed in the UK and that you very much wanted to meet her. But he said, I guess things happen, things change. Do you think the president had a real understanding of what you actually wanted?
Not from those comments, no. I mean, you know, we are still open to meeting her. But we've said all along it needs to be in a room with mediators and therapists, not just for us as a family, but for her and her family. You know, it's got to be in a controlled environment. You know, we can't have that sprung on us like we did. You know, we didn't even know we were seeing him until we got to the White House. We were told it was a senior official. You know, you get a phone call in the morning and you're summoned to go there as soon as you can in the afternoon. We had no idea what we were walking into.
Pretty extraordinary moment. You're there, you've been through this awful tragedy, but you're regular people, you know, you haven't been in the limelight before, and suddenly you're in the White House with the President of the United States. It's surreal, isn't it, this whole thing? And yet underneath it is just a simple thing that's motivating you, a desire for closure on this, for justice. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We've said from the start, Harry unfortunately died in an accident, and we know it was an accident. We said before that the immunity thing was just...
Yeah, it's not really, is it, about establishing what happened? We all know what happened. Yeah. Everyone's seen the CCTV. The police know exactly what happened here. This woman's been in the country a couple of weeks. She's forgotten what side of the road to drive on, and there's been an accident, and horrendously your son has been killed. That's what happened. Yeah. This is not in doubt. The only thing that's in doubt is why on earth she was able to leave the country.
Yeah.
Who gave that permission? What happens now? I mean, is there any way, do you think, legally, that she can be compelled to come back?
We can only but hope. I mean, the file's with the CPS now. We have no idea how long they're going to take to deliberate over that.
But if they decide to prosecute, does she have to get on a plane and come back?
No, they have to put in for extradition, and Donald Trump could still say no.
Well, Brad Seeger is over in Washington, and he's your representative working on this at the moment over stateside. Brad Seeger, just talk us through the various different actions that are being taken, because this kind of legal activity, it's got many strands, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does. So, good morning. Just to follow up on that one point. So, if she is charged in the UK with an offence, she will be set a court date for her first appearance, and either she appears at that first date or she does not. If she does not, then we believe that they will, the British authorities will apply for her to be extradited back to the UK. And look, I'm very hopeful that there will be no obstruction to that, given where we've got to over the weekend. But, you know, it's Donald Trump, and we'll have to wait and see. Beyond that, so I've been here for a week now, preparing for these legal proceedings, which we're launching on behalf of the family. So the first one is a very simple, straightforward, what we would call back in the UK a personal injury claim against Mrs. Sacoolas, the driver, for civil damages or compensation. But you know, given what's happened over these last few weeks and the way these good people have been treated, it's become so much more than that. And we are very clear that the administration here in Washington have been engaged in lawless misconduct. Wow. You know, I think we all understand that Mrs. Sacoolas should be back in the UK. You don't get to run away from an accident and just skip the country. These people never had diplomatic immunity, just despite what the government here in Washington have said. So why they've done it, we don't know.
Okay,
but
Charlotte, we've got to unfortunately wrap it here, but we want to stay on top of this story. We want to keep battling with you, because at the heart of this is just it's a parent's desire for justice, and I think every parent has huge empathy with you. How are you guys holding up with all this? Because the strain of losing your son would be bad enough for most people. the added strain of this kind of global attention and all the... On one level, yeah, it must be extraordinary to go to the White House. Another level, this is your life.
Yeah, no, it is extraordinary, but we're not even thinking it. I don't think it's even sunk in that we've been to the White House.
Of course.
You know, we're just drifting through hour by hour every day.
And the trouble is,
we're
it's robbing
stuck
you
in
of
August.
grieving, isn't it? That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You want to have closure on what happened. You want to see justice done. And you want to be able to say goodbye to your son. And there just seems to be so much obstruction.
Yeah, it should be so simple. Or it should be such an easy case. You know,
Do you know what I find weird, Charlotte? I find
crazy.
that she's a mother of 3 kids herself. What I find weird is, you can understand somebody panicking, being told they're allowed to leave and seizing that opportunity perhaps to get away from this nightmare. You can understand all that kind of stuff. What I can't understand is a mother of 3 looking at you, both of you, seeing the despair and not putting herself in your shoes and thinking the right thing to do is get on a plane. I don't understand that.
We don't understand it.
We don't either.
It seems just on a human level, it feels to me so callous.
It's just terribly wrong.
To further compound your misery and your grief in this way seems so callous to me.
We're just trying to keep an open mind that she might be under so much rule of thumb that she has had no choice. But until we get the truth, and justice may end up being the truth if she doesn't come back.
But we need the answers.
We need the answers.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
it's written all
we
over
really
both your faces.
need the
And I
answers.
think your intentions are completely understandable and honourable, and you've got to keep fighting.
You're doing
and
it
we're
for
going to
Harry.
keep...
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going to
We
keep...
are.
It's Harry's
talking about
legacy.
this.
Yeah.
You know, we are going to get the laws changed, and that diplomatic immunity law needs looking at, and we'd be letting him down and everyone else that might find themselves in this situation if we don't change
Well, good
it
for
now.
you, and we're right behind you.
Thank
so
you.
please stay in touch, and any
will.
updates, let us know.
Thank
We
you
will.
very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rad, thank you very much indeed.
Well, a Foreign Office spokesman said we've done everything we can properly to clear a path so that justice can be done for Harry's family. As the Foreign Secretary said out in Parliament, the individual involved had diplomatic immunity whilst in the country under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Will respond to any legal action in due course.